Hi, welcome back to When Harry Met Sally.
Hello, how are you, Harry?
I'm good. How are you doing, Sally?
Fantastic. As excited as I was with all of the other podcasts we've been doing.
It's just so wonderful to be sitting here, this wonderful pod suite at Collarts again, and waiting for our next guest to be on this episode.
Yeah, it's such fantastic facilities, and we've got the fantastic Shaquille with us still, making us sound good. Thank you so much for helping us out each episode. You've been wonderful. So, who's in the pod with us today? I can see somebody sitting here at our table. Harry, who have we got here?
So we're so lucky to have Rikki Bunder with us today. Rikki is an educator at Collarts and a photographer in his own right. And so we're thrilled to have you a part of the podcast,
We sure are, Rikki. And we were saying earlier on, what have we known each other, 20 years now?
Yeah, I think it's been at least 20 years.
Yeah, at least 20 years, in many different lifetimes. So what are you doing here at Collarts? That's a good place to start.
Well, hi, Hallie. Hi, Hallie. There you go, too. Sally and Harry. I'm the program lead here for the photography course, the Bachelor and Diploma. I'm also the campus academic lead for a number of different courses across design here at George Street.
A lot of different hats.
Where we are today. Yeah, a lot of different hats. That's the way I like it.
And how long's the photography course been going here?
We are brand new. So we just had our first graduates last year. So we've been going for 2 years. 2.5 years now. God, this time flies. 2024 flies. 2.5 years. So we're the new kids on the block. But I've taught at a number of different schools over the last 12 years. So I've been in education for about 12 years now and taught at a number of different schools and ran programs from vet diplomas to diplomas and now the full bachelor and diploma here at Collarts.
And how's it going?
I love it.
Yeah?
It's absolutely amazing.
Great facilities?
Fantastic facilities right across the board. The collaboration's pretty amazing. So we share a campus here with interior design and fashion and digital and social media and the graphic design guys, so you can imagine the kind of collaborations. Like today, we've got one of the audio students in here, Shaquille, helping out with all the recording of this. So that kind of collaboration happens all the time at Collarts, and I think that's one of the most exciting things for Collarts.
I couldn't agree more. And it's earlier on at the very beginning, we talked about when I was running a subject where we had advertising students and photography students, working side by side, because the whole industry, especially the commercial industry, is about working in teams, isn't it? And that, to facilitate that here as students, to get them used to that, and making their network here. How fantastic is that?
Well, I always say to the students, the last commercial, I was a commercial advertising photographer for many, many years, and the last job I did was actually with an art director that I went to uni with. So that's how long those relationships continue. And we just signed a partnership last week with NICA, the National Circus School.
I know, down in
Paran.
Wow.
Green Street.
Absolutely incredible school, and now Collarts are a partner to them. So it's
it is an extraordinary school. I had a friend's daughter that ran away to the circus, we say, which is hilarious because they're accountants and they've got a kid in the circus. It's an extraordinary. I've been to their end of year play, or not play, but their performance. Wow, that's really cool.
I know. So the opportunities,
not just collaborating within the college, but actually collaborating outside the college as well.
That's exactly right. Excuse me. And that's what I really love about Collarts, is definitely the collaboration, and definitely the community. I worked at a number of different schools over the years, and I think Collarts is really truly a community. Like you walk upstairs and students can't escape you. Like the best collaborations happen in the staff kitchen and the student kitchen.
Yes, we were just up there before, weren't we? And we walked up there and we saw Maurizio, one of your other teachers that we've all known for 150 years, and then one of his students was with him, and everyone was chitter-chatting, and it's a really
good atmosphere.
It's very egalitarian and gorgeous, isn't it?
Exactly, and there's the
gorgeous, is that a word? Oh, well, whatever.
It works.
Yeah, it works.
I think the best collaborations happen almost outside of our control. It's when a fashion student hooks up with a photography student, and suddenly they've got this, project going that's completely separated from their assessments, and just the possibilities are quite incredible.
Oh,
Yeah, amazing.
fantastic. And one of the things I was going to say along those lines was it's a bit like Shaquille. You know, he doesn't realise it yet, but he's going to come on the road with Harry and I as we do the podcast. So,
It's like,
yeah.
once you've met Sally Brownbill,
Yeah.
you're hooked
You're
into
in
the
for
family.
life.
And you start-
Sorry.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're sitting in a podcast booth with her.
Well, ours goes back. I met you many, many years ago at a workshop. I can't remember how many years ago now when I was a commercial advertising photographer. And that relationship's continued all these
It
years.
sure has. It's been fantastic.
And ours is a much newer friendship.
Yep.
However, just as solid, I think. I think with you, Rikki, what Tom and I say all the time is just like, you just know that, you've got our backs all the time. When you're in. And I think
Yep.
for you to be teaching students or like being a mentor to other people coming up in the industry, I can't imagine them having a better kind of mentor or teacher.
Oh, thank you very much. I do hold you and Tom and Gus in really high regard. I think what you're doing with the Photo Collective is a really beautiful thing, and it's really needed in the photography community in Australia. I just love the way you run your competitions. I love the way you run workshops. It's just. Yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer for us to support everything that you do, kind of.
Thanks, Rikki. It's
Hang on, I'm just gonna get the tissues.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
it's
No, but
so
I'm
appreciative.
insert
and,
violin.
It's
No, it's
wonderful
true.
because Collards do support Photo
Absolutely.
Collective, and that it's so amazing. And we're so thankful. But just to know that, like, it's just so personal as well. It's not just a kind of business transaction. We know how personal it is, and it's just
us
so
all
great.
here today. I mean, this is what this industry is about. It's about building networks. It's about having long-term friendships. It's about feeling comfortable ringing you with this idea.
Yeah.
When Harry and I came up with it, it was like, who will we ring? Rikki! And we all sit there and we all kind of just get, like I talked once before about, we just get on with it. And we do have to have each other's backs. It's a very small community.
Yep.
And in the commercial world at the moment, it's pretty tough out there.
Yeah.
But we are often the first to fall down, but we are always the first to be picked up again, within the creative industry. And to have people like you, as Harry just said, in education is second to none,
Yep.
so that's very exciting. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you, in addition to your education, is do you still take photos, Rikki? And how important is it to you?
It's extremely important. Like most people in education, photographers or creatives in education, it's ebbs and flows, the creativity. I'm in an absolute flow state at the moment.
Oh,
and
that's
I have
so
been
exciting.
Yeah,
I've seeing your posts. They're pretty
So
gorgeous, all
great.
that dark, forests.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you
So
know.
it all started. I teach landscape photography here as one of our subjects, and I take a really a rule theory approach to it. And I teach all these students these amazing things and introduce them to these amazing artists over the last 50 years of landscape photography and some really contemporary photographers. And I'm teaching them, and I'm going, this is what I love doing. Why aren't I out every single weekend shooting like I used to all the time? The job just paperwork gets on top and all that kind of stuff, and you push your creative side aside. So last year I planned a trip, and I went to 4 different salt lakes in the outback, 2 in South Australia and 2 in Victoria. And the whole idea was, originally, I'm fascinated with open landscapes and big skies and the horizon. And if you look back through all the projects I've done, I'm kind of fascinated with the tension in photographs, tension in images. And that can be tension in so many different ways, in narrative and stuff like that, but actual physical tension as well. So where the sky meets the land and that tension it creates. And I'm fascinated by it. I don't understand it. And as soon as I don't understand something, that really excites me. Because
Is the world flat?
no, the world's definitely not flat. But that tension is really quite, I don't know. It's just anything that I don't understand, it just intrigues me. I've got a bit of a science brain as well. So my family's originally from Minnepa in South Australia, like in the middle of nowhere, farming country. And I think it's those big, from 0 to 7, those big skies that brought me back.
Yeah.
So I went out there, and the first lake was like 50 degrees in the middle of summer. And I had 50 litres of water and a CB radio and everything I needed to do. And I just went out there for about a week and just spent driving from one to the next,
Wow.
all by myself, swag, just camped it. And it was just the most amazing experience.
Just completely on your own?
That's exactly right.
Wow.
And I took on all this, all the stuff that I was teaching the students about, like photo walking, for mindful photo walking, and not worrying too much about the captures, just worrying a lot more about the experience and just making sure that you soak up the experience. So I went out there with a mission to come home with, it did not matter if I came home with one beautiful capture or 100. It didn't matter. It was just the experience of being out there.
It's so important. I just want to touch on that because I'm, an educator myself and have, a lot newer to it than you. I've been teaching in tertiary for 3 years now.
Yep.
And the first year I taught, I really was, I thought I've got to put my money where my mouth is. I'm teaching these students to push themselves and get out there and be prolific, and it doesn't matter what comes back. You just got to be in the moment. And I wasn't doing it myself. And so I really tried to kind of start up my practice again a few years ago. And it's really fallen off the way. I am not in a flow state, Rikki. Let's put it that way.
But you go through that you go through the ebbs and flows.
It's so important to be kind of practicing what you teach.
And isn't it exciting though that the students, you feed off the students' excitement as well, and you see what they're doing, and you kind of go, "Wow, I want to get back into this."
As much as you teach them.
100%.
Yeah,
it's like I was bringing stuff back, and I just shared it with that bunch of students, and inspired me to go and do it. And then it absolutely worked because 4 hours of walking, hiking, and shooting, I felt like me again all of a sudden. And it was just like, okay, so all the bureaucracy, all the paperwork, and I love this job, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this job. But it's not walking and shooting and that creativity, and you need to fill that battery back up. And now recently, because Salt Lake's a long way away, that project's kind of taken a hiatus. I actually feel like it's almost complete, but I'll definitely return. But
Do you know where you got to go? You got to come down to my place down at Peterborough, near the 12 Apostles.
Yeah, true.
Have you ever been down there on the Great Ocean Road?
What I found, Sally, is I don't need to go anywhere. I live in Gisborne and in the Macedon Ranges. So every Sunday, and I've written myself a bunch of rules now to follow. All weather's good weather. I'll just go out for 2 or 3 hours. All light's good light, and I just walk. And the walk is more important than the captures. And I've just been walking through the Macedon Ranges and Mount Macedon, and in the fog, in the rain. It absolutely got pelted down last weekend, and I was drenched to the bone.
But you loved it, didn't you?
Nice hot shower. Yeah, exactly. And yesterday I come home with literally no images. I think I've got a couple there, but nothing I'm excited about. But I still went out for the walk, and I still feel much better because of it.
Yeah.
Well, it gets back to what we've talked about previously with other people about a work-life balance and keeping your body and your mind healthy.
Yep.
It's so important, isn't it? Even more so these days.
100%. And the other thing that I use it with creativity is you can learn. You can learn all the theory, and you can learn all the practice, and you can learn all the settings and all that kind of stuff, and all these different techniques. But creativity is something a lot, you can do activities to get your creativity up. But I think to really find your true creativity, that's to find it within yourself. And you don't find that under stress. That's what I've found anyway for me.
We can't go looking for it. It's there or it isn't, right?
I think it's always there, but you've just got to relax into it and allow it to happen.
Yep.
So this is one method that we use. And, mindful photography is really gaining momentum across the world now. Like, I think in the UK, you can actually get a doctor's prescription for mindful photography workshops now. Wow. So the government will subsidise it. It's something about...
My head's just blowing off my body at this point in time. Look.
But it is something...
I want that.
But it is something like, you think about it, like...
If any doctors are listening here, come on.
I heard it on a podcast late last year, and it's been in my brain obsessing about it. Like, what is it about photography that does stop everything else? What is it about? And it's that focus. You put your eye up to the viewfinder, and the world disappears.
Well, can I also say that any medical practitioner that I've ever been to in my life, when they find out I'm in photography, starts talking to me about photography.
Yes.
They are all photographers, you know, underwater photographers, because they've got that scientific brain, that, they love the precision. I've had, surgeons showing me their fishing photos.
Yep.
You know, I'm like going, what?
I'm exactly the same. I think it was.
It happens all the time.
Anaesthetist, just before you doze off, was going,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're a photographer. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
what
you
camera
should
do you
run
use?
that."
It's like,
And then the
mate, just make
drifting
sure I don't die. Thank you. Forget about
Let's
it.
focus on your
Yeah.
job, not
Or
mine.
I'll show you those pictures. Free anaesthetic, please. Yeah, but it's one of those things, isn't it? That
Absolutely.
that if the
And
medical
it's-
profession are supporting it, well,
Yeah.
how fantastic is that?
And yeah, exactly. And what it is just with photography and creativity, it's like everything. It's like if you're a painter, the more practice you do, the more natural it becomes, and you start to forget about all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
If you start to forget, especially our age, it's all just ingrained into us.
Yeah.
You don't need to think about any of that, and we do that with our students as well. Like remove all the barriers, and literally just shoot.
But
with
I
no
love
pressure.
the way you're talking really about practicing the practice.
Yes.
Because I think in fact, we've talked before about, this ebb and flow, and it's okay to be in a state where you're not being creative. It'll come back, but actually sometimes you've got to put in the work to actually get
100%.
that back. And it doesn't mean that you're, firing creativity every day and making massive projects week after week, but to actually put in 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon and just go for that walk,
100%.
that actually is going to engage the creative mind.
Yeah, and this is something we talk about with the students. Is like I'll say, what I just said before to a student or something, and he goes, "Yeah, but we're also got these deadlines, and we've got this and got this." And I said, "Yeah, there's two different things going on here. It's like if you've got a commercial shoot, you are producing something for a client, you're producing something for them, and you're a technician and you're creative and you're all these things, but." What the mindful photography can do, what the landscape photography can do, or whatever street photography or whatever it is, your personal projects, what that's doing is just filling your creative batteries back up again, so that you're ready for those pressure moments.
I think
so you're
people
ready
can
for
get
those.
overwhelmed very easily. I spend a lot of time consulting with photographers that are overwhelmed
Yep.
with everything that's happening in their life. I had recently I was talking with a woman who has got 3 young kids, is trying to keep a house, study photography. When does she have time to do things? And it gets back down. You and I talked about this in the corridor just before about time management and what's the most important thing in your life at this point in time. It's your babies and your family. We'll get them sorted, and then on top of that, we're going to do this because that makes you happy, and Mum's got to have that time to do that, and just going through the steps. And Harry and I have talked about before about what is right for you at this time in your life will be. And possibly will be quite different this time next year. So the mindful part of it is hugely important about living in the here and the now, and what can I do and what can I achieve, as well as making sure that I'm healthy and I'm eating properly and I'm doing enough exercise and getting out and about. And the other thing that I wanted to pick up on that you said as well is understanding what the commercial world is about, that you are a technician of other people's ideas. And way back in episode 1, I talked about this epiphany that I didn't want to become a photographer after all my life wanting to be a photographer, and it was really because I didn't want to shoot other people's ideas. Had I known then what I know now, I probably would have been a documentary photographer because I love telling stories. And I'm glad that I took the path that I did take about helping other people because I really get it. I just didn't want to be that technician. Yeah.
So Rikki, with you, was the transition between being a commercial photographer to getting into education, was it a very conscious, deliberate one? Had you had enough of commercial photography and that you wanted that pivot change, or was it kind of more organic, I guess?
I know it was a concrete decision. It was actually.
Was it a day? Was it a day that you remember?
It was a day.
Was it a shoot?
A particular shoot.
Forget this shit.
It was a particular art director. No. It was
Name and
a
shame.
combination of something. Actually, it was a lecturer that I went to university. It was one of my lecturers, a very, very inspiring mentor, Clive, if you're listening.
Oh, I love Clive.
Of course you do.
He got me
Everybody
involved-
loves Clive.
Yeah, in here.
Yeah.
Originally.
And so he taught me back many, many years ago at university. He was a very, very inspiring lecturer. He used to come and visit me when I was a commercial advertising photographer, and he brought me in for a guest lecture. So I gave this guest lecture. I thought, that was fun, man. That was so much fun. No pressure as a guest lecturer. Just walk in and talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Talk,
good.
inspire, have
Yeah,
a laugh.
exactly.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So
All care, no responsibility.
and then I had a very intense week. You know what it's like as an advertising photographer sometimes. You got back-to-back jobs and they're overlapping and you're working till, you know, very late and all that kind of stuff. And it was just one of those very, very intense weeks. And he rang me and said, there's a job coming up and I want you to apply. And I'm like, my answer a month before that would have been, no, I'm fine, I'm good. I'm, you know, doing what I want to do. And I said, yeah. And I sat down and I put the application together, and I think it was probably the second or third class. I was like, this is where I want to be for the rest of my life. I was like, teaching is just so rewarding and so enjoyable, and you get to do both. So I get to be creative and I get to do my own practice and I get to teach students. So I started teaching when I first started teaching. I started teaching commercial photography, of course, because that's what I was stepping out of. And I kind of keep that when we employ lecturers here, is we will employ you for what you are, not for what you can do.
On that note, Rikki, I'm interested because we've talked a lot about when we are employing a photographer to do a job, we are employing so much more than how they take photographs. We're employing a personality, a person, you know. When you're looking at employing lecturers, are you looking at how they can talk to students? You know, because think about back to when we were at school and stuff. Think about some people, they should just never have been teachers, right? Knew their stuff, but boring as batshit.
Yeah,
so
I'd say...
how do you go with that?
Definitely. And it comes back from my experience as well. I had Clive, who was incredibly
I think that's
inspiring.
who introduced us, if I really think about
Probably.
it. Billy Blue Days.
Yeah. And... I found him incredibly inspiring, and you know, other lecturers to different degrees, and so I often think about that. But when I employ lecturers here, I always start with a coffee just to get to know them and get to know what their opinion is of education and photography and all those kind of things first, and it's their expertise that's critical to what subjects they're teaching. So I'll get a commercial photographer to teach commercial photography. And now that sounds like, of course you would, you know, and that's how most people would. But we take that really, really seriously, that you're a specialist in what you're about to teach, and you're also inspiring. You also absolutely love that particular genre. So if you're inspiring, you'll inspire students. And it's like, and then they'll inspire you back. So that's where the kind of things that we go through when I'm thinking about, you know, particular subjects, and we've got some lecturers here that have been with us for the whole 2 years, and they'll continue hopefully for many, many, many years to go forward, because once you find that good connection. And you can just start building the team up.
And Rikki, are they part-time or are they full-time, or are they? Is there a mixture of both? Are they running their own practices as well?
Nearly all of them are running their own practices and teaching at other places as well. So I'm the only permanent person in the photography course, and my lecturers are all sessional casuals. Sessional casuals that I can. Some of them come in and teach one class, like, because they're an absolute expert in that particular class, and I've got a high school teacher that comes in and teaches photographic publishing, all about the photo book and stuff like that. And amazing, who's published a couple of books himself, and he loves it. So it's his, you know, break away from high school. So he's got that teaching experience, but he's also got that creativity.
You should get me to come in and talk about my books.
Yes, your books are sitting.
Am I allowed to do that? Did I just do that?
Your books are sitting in the library. They're talked often with students.
See, we love that. We love that. So, Rikki, as we're sort of coming to the end of this wonderful chat that we've had with you today, Harry has got a very important question for you.
Well, the question we're sort of asking everyone throughout this series is, you know, why do you do what you do? And I think you've sort of answered that a little bit, but why do you do what you do? What, in this kind of day of changing photography, you know, who knows what the future's kind of bringing in at this, I think we're in quite a pivotal point, aren't we?
Yep.
And, you know, why are you teaching photography in this day and age? Why are you still shooting the way you are?
Two different answers, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Why I'm still shooting, why I'm
We'll
still
pick the one
creative.
we like the most.
Yeah, and just edit out the other one. Why do I still shoot? Why do I still be creative? There's just no choice. It's just It's just a part of what I do. It makes me extremely happy. It makes me content. I absolutely love being creative. I think I can't see my life without it. Very, very boring without it. Why I teach, I think it's just the best job in the world. And why teach photography? And yes, you're right. Photography is going through, but going through a turbulent time at the moment. But it always has. Like you look back from the 1940s all the way through, right? It's always had its ebbs and its flows, and an introduction to digital, and introduction to this, and is it still an art form? And
are we going to have wet dark rooms? Are we not going to have wet dark rooms?
Exactly. All these things are now AI coming in. It's always been a turbulent time. But every photographer we know, and all the photographers listening here, we all know that we're problem solvers, and we're some of the best problem solvers on the planet. Like, we walk into a situation that is everything's against us, and we make it happen, and the shoot's the most important thing, and we work it out. So we're storytellers and we're problem solvers, and that's why I think it's a really, really, really valuable art form to help students find their voice, find their creative voice.
Getting back to you,
love it.
3 words. Why do you do it? I've just made that up. Is that hard?
3 words. Yeah,
3 words.
3 words.
3 words. No choice.
No choice. Perfect. Look, Rikki, you've been an absolute delight, as you always are.
Yeah, it's
love
so
your new hairdo as well.
Wonderful.
Nobody can say that except for me.
You're
but
so inspiring, Rikki.
Oh, he is.
You really are.
He
You have
is.
such passion.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And Harry, why don't you just finish off the end of the episode today?
Thanks so much for being here, Rikki.
I'm just going to do a little bit of a clap for Rikki.
Thanks again to Collarts for lending us the beautiful space age podcast booths here,
and Shaquille,
for being our wonderful recording assistant. So next week we will be, or next session, sorry, we're going to be speaking to Eamon, and he is an amazing emerging photographic artist, and I think that what a great way to follow on from someone that's in education to someone that's really coming up through the ranks.
I mean, I first saw him in 2017 in a competition, and to think what he's doing today is so exciting. That's going to be a ripper.
Exciting.
Another ripper.
Another ripper.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks again, Rikki.
You've been fantastic. And
you.
Harry, we'll see you next time.
See you next time, Sally.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.